This time I call to order special governing board meeting. Um, Mr. Santa Cruz, can you lead us in the pledge?
Sure. I pledge allegiance
to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Roll call,
Governing Board President Ms. Maria Guzman.
present.
Governing Board Clerk Ms. Maria Hernandez is not present today. Governing Board Member Ms. Patricia Jimenez.
Present.
Governing Board Member Mr. Rudy Santa Cruz.
present.
And Governing Board Member Mr. Harry Gerwell.
Thank you. Next item is approval of November 21, 2024 special governing board meeting agenda. Is there a motion?
Moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Call for the vote. Motion carries. Next item, new business approval for the sale and settlement of 4.41 acres of a district property at 2941 North 43rd Avenue. Dr. Mario Ventura, Superintendent. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Ventura?
Oops. Madam President, members of the board, and as a community, tonight we're here to request that the board pass a resolution that would allow us to proceed with selling our land at 2941 North 43rd Avenue. As you're aware, this land was formerly used as a preschool years ago, the David Kinsan Preschool, and then it was closed. And so we've been using it for office space. And now we have the opportunity to sell this land to the city of Phoenix that would be used to create affordable housing within our community. So tonight we ask that the board consider passing a resolution that would allow us to enter into uh, an agreement down the road with the city of Phoenix for the sale of this property. We also have our legal counsel here, Clyde Dangerfield, in case there's any questions from the board regarding the resolution. And also, along with the backup, there are some drawings of what the housing would look like as far as the rooms and the number of different types of housing units that we would be provided. Does the board have any questions?
Is there any question from the board?
No questions, Madam President, but I just asked Dr. Ventura if, these documents were involved or available through our public participation. And I know that, they could come in and ask for the information. But I have received several calls on what we're going to be doing here today, which, I was hopeful that we could really have some conversation about it. But I think more than anything else, one of the things that we don't do, we actually pass the resolutions. We just say they're good. And then we don't really explain much about what's in there. So if you don't mind, Madam President, what I'd like to do is there's a couple of items that I'd like to read into the records just for the public consumption that I think will help us, to tamp down some of the concerns that have been coming forward. So under the resolution, there's three paragraphs that I thought were very important, for the public to understand. And the first one is paragraph 1, whereas Isaac District Number 5, a political subdivision of the state, has requested the assistance of the city of Phoenix in connection with the sale of the district for certain surplus real estate under, and this is important, Arizona Revised Statute 15-342, paragraph 7, which provides in pertinent part that a school district is authorized to sell or lease school property to the state of Arizona, a county, a city, another school district, or a tribal government agency for the public purpose if the sale or lease of the property will not affect the normal operations of the school within the school district. And I think it's important for people to know that we do have the right to do this. We've done it before. However, this is the second time we've done it. And I think that's what's causing, folks to start asking some questions. The other one that I thought was relevant to our conversation was in regards to one of the other pieces that we'll be approving later on in the meeting, whereas the Jewel Investment Company donated the property to the district by means of a special warranty deed dated September 11th, 1997, and recorded on September 15th, 1997, in the Maricopa County Recorder's Office as an instrument number 97-06-27773, a warranty deed for the purpose and use stated in the warranty deed. And whereas the Jewel Investment Company is willing to enter into a settlement agreement with the district pertaining to the district to sell the property to the city in return for the sum of $1 million from the proceeds and only from the proceeds of the district's sale and conveyance of the title to the property to the city to one of the scholarship funds established and timely designated in writing by Jewel. I think those are three relevant pieces under the resolution that, I think the public would really be interested in. But more importantly, it would help us in shielding us from any scrutiny because it is, within all our legal precedents that we've set in the past, but also that we've stated exactly where they can find that. So with that, Madam President, those are my comments.
Harry, also, the people that are asking you questions and stuff, they can call Dr. Ventura and ask him for information too.
Yeah, again, I'm just putting it on the public record because that's something that they can see, as our minutes.
Okay, thank you. Any other question from the board? Call for the vote. Motion carries. Next item is approval to request assistance from the city of Phoenix in connection with purpose sale of the surplus real estate pursued as ARS 15-342-7 by Isaac Elementary School District Number 5. Dr. Mario Ventura, Superintendent. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Ventura?
Madam President, members of the board, as a community, so along with the resolution, now we are asking the board to approve us sending a letter to the city requesting assistance in selling the 4.41 acres of surplus property at 2941 North 43rd Avenue, and sharing that we intend to sell this property to the city of Phoenix with restrictions that it would only be allowed to be used for the public purpose, which in this specific case would be affordable housing. The city would then convene with the property to a nonprofit affiliate, which will lease it to the Ulysses Development Group for the construction of 75 affordable housing units. And the city's role is to facilitate compliance and legal requirements and establish the public purpose with no financial burden to the city. All transaction costs will be covered by the developer. So I'm requesting that you allow me to send this letter to request their assistance in the sale.
Thank you. Any question from the board?
No question, Madam President, but again, for the public record, rather than read this in, I could just leave a copy of the highlighted pieces and include those in our minutes. I think that would be helpful. I mean, we already see it, but from the public's perception, and Dr. Ventura, you just covered it very well. But just to get it onto the public record so that folks will know that it really is a transaction that's happening between the city of Phoenix, but the city of Phoenix Industrial Development Authority specifically, correct?
Correct.
Okay, yeah, because that's one thing that I want to make sure folks are clear about. Because I know that the housing authority doesn't really get into those kinds of transactions. It's really the Phoenix Industrial Development Authority who has that right and the privilege to do these kinds of activities, and be able to identify that nonprofit. So with that, I'll just leave these and I'll hand them into the secretary and they can be included rather than sit here and read through the entire process.
Thank you. Any other question from the board? Call for the vote. Motion carries. Next item is approval of settlement agreement between Isaac Elementary School District Number 5 and Jules Investment Company regarding property conveyance and the D amendment. Dr. Mario Ventura, Superintendent. Is there a motion?
So moved.
Is there a second?
Second.
Dr. Ventura?
Madam President, members of the board, and community. So years ago, Jewel Investment Company donated land, as we discussed earlier, and it was mentioned in the previous items, at 2941 North 43rd Avenue in Phoenix, Arizona. And this land was used for a preschool. The land came with a deed restriction, only allowing us to sell the land to be used to build another school or a family center. And so we can't really move forward with the land sale without the consent of that donor, which was the Jewel Investment Company. And so in talking to Jewel Investment Company, we've come to a resolution or agreement that they would support this sale if part of the proceeds from the sale were to go to a nonprofit and to be named later. So right now we're asking you to approve this settlement agreement with Jewel Investment Company regarding the property at 2941 North 43rd Avenue, Phoenix, Arizona. And again, this would not be costing the district, but it would be using some of the proceeds from the sale to go to a nonprofit entity to be named later.
Thank you. Is there any question from the board?
Madam President,
Ms. Jimenez?
just to clarify, we talked about when we do have the deed, we are going to have the name of the organization where the money's going to go to, correct?
Correct.
Okay. I just want to make that clarify, because to my understanding, we need to make sure, because that we're doing everything right and we put it out there and making sure who, where this money is being donated.
Yes.
And then just to clarify too, the money that we get is going to go into our capital, correct?
Correct. And so in as this moves, so you'll have other things to vote on, a sales or lease agreement down the road, and then we will be amending this because we need the actual, when we go to sell that for the title and escrow purposes, we need to know where the money's going. So the board will be aware and will be voting on an addendum or amendment to this contract.
And I just want to clarify, to make sure because Madam President, you said, they could always call us for any questions. And I know that sometimes we get rumors, or when I was being talked to lately, like this past month, where's this money going? So we're hiding money, which everything's public record. So if people want to ask or people want to know, do a public record request. We'll tell you where the money's going, just to making sure that, if you have any questions, just come and ask or come and join our meetings. So nothing's being hidden or nothing's being undercovered. Everything's open and it's to the, we owe it to the community. So everybody wants to know, they know what they need to do. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other question from the board?
Not a question, Madam President, but I would like to read into the record, specifically that was Ms. Jimenez had brought up, paragraph 3 of the covenants, because I think it's important for folks to know that, it's really not the district that's paying out the funds, right? Just for the public record. So that statement or that paragraph 3 reads as follows. In return for such consent and such amendments to the deed eliminating such restrictions, the sum of $1 million from the proceeds and only from the proceeds of the district's sale and conveyance of title to the property to the city shall be transferred to one of the scholarship funds to be determined later by grantor and timely designated in writing by the grantor. Both district and grantor agree that such a payment comports with the intention of the original gift, which was enrich the lives of other families through education. And I think that's important because one of the things that I was asked, is this a gift of public funds under the Arizona Revised Statute? And obviously I said, no, it's not, because we're not giving it to them. It's through a process that the city has already used in other cases, so we're following all those protocols as well. So with that, Madam President, that ends my comments.
Thank you. Any other question from the board? Call for the vote. Motion carries. Next item is call to the public.
Madam President, at this time, we have no request to address the governing board.
Thank you. Next item is information. Enrollment is at 5,066. Calendar is the Heart of Isaac Resource Day, November 21, 2024. Thanksgiving recess, November 27 to the 29th, 2024. And next regular governing board meeting will be at 5 p.m. on Thursday, December 12th at Morris K. Udall, located at 3715 West Roosevelt, Phoenix, Arizona. And if there's no objection, meeting adjourned. Thank you.
Thank you.